this kelp bed, an otter, they're feeding on the anchovies. And the anchovies are, I can say it, prolific right now. I can't remember a time where there were so many anchovies, especially down in Santa Cruz in the bay, but up north too. That's where the whales are coming from. That's where the sea life, the seals, everything is just congregating around this because it's basically a bait ball. I mean, these millions, if not billions, of anchovies. If you got to the Santa Cruz Pier right now and you look in, you're going to see anchovies everywhere, and you're going to see seals everywhere. You're going to see more birds than you've ever seen everywhere, especially once the sun comes out. And again, just watching this live camera, you see how much activity is going on. Anchovies typically run closer to shore. They school up, right? Billions of them. And they run closer to the shore in the summer months, in the early fall. And then they go further offshore in the winter, spring. Well, they're very close to shore right now, so that's bringing everything in because everything follows the bait. Everything, the fish, the big fish, the seals, the dolphins, the killer whales, right? The humpback whales, the gray whales, white sharks, everything comes in. And so it's a unique time. I talked to some locals in Santa Cruz a couple days ago, and they're older than me, which is hard to do. And they're like, dude, we haven't seen this since the 60s. I don't think I've seen anchovy runs, but not this prolific. I think I saw one like this in the early 80s, but I was a kid and I was, probably had a couple Coors beers in me and it seemed like a lot. But in retrospect, I'm looking at this going, wow, this is prolific. And again, this shot just kind of illustrates that. Some video from today, or not today, from last weekend that I took out at the pier visiting Dad and just watching this. And even in the video, I'm going to try to zoom up and I hope you can picture all the birds that are flying around and how much sea life is available. So if you're me, yeah, whatever. I'd get my ass to the coast this weekend, and I'd go to the San Mateo County coastline. I'd go out to Big Sur. I'd go out to Point Reyes. I'd go out to Santa Cruz. I'd go out to just. If you want to see the ocean as it should be, as it hasn't been for years, this is a good time to do it. So let's go on. Now we can go. I'm going to show you some live cameras. This is an interesting shot. This is Pacifica. That's Pedro Point there. And this would be the pier is behind this mountain. I think the pier is behind that. No, pier's over here. But either way, that's Lindemar's right in here. You can see the low cloud cover, little deeper marine layer, facilitating a little bit more cooling today. And if we go down to the beach at Lindemar, I think I can get this to play for us. There it is. So that's a live picture at Lindemar, and you can see underneath the fog. Quiet day at the beach. This is Pedro Point, what I was just pointing to up here. That's Pedro Point, and that's Pedro Point. So you're seeing it from two different angles. But bottom line, the story is fog. We got plenty of it. And the forecast, as I've been mentioning, is going to continue to be kind of on the warm side inland, and then a little bit cooler as we go into this afternoon, 4 or 5 degrees cooler, and then more prolific cooling as we go into tomorrow. So if we look at tomorrow, I think I can switch this over for you. If we go, can I switch it? Oh, here we go. There's tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be a little bit cooler. And those temperatures will be, instead of upper 90s, mid 90s, mid 80s, upper 80s. So that is a pleasant cool down and much more typical for, it's September. What is it? September 9th. So we're getting along in the month. We're not far, a couple weeks from the equinox. And that marks the beginning of the end of fall and the beginning of winter, the vernal or the autumnal equinox. So that's happening. These are the forecast highs for today. Tomorrow will be cooler, but even today, Santa Rosa's 87. Concord's just forecast to go 91. Livermore 93. San Jose 85. Air quality's good. Fire danger a thing, but not as gnarly as it can be this time of year. And I'm sure we'll have our run of it as we get into September, late in October, and even November. It's still hot in the valley. Redding 98, 103 in Modesto, Fresno 103. A very warm day in the Central Valley. Let's see what else I got here for you. Oh, I want to show you the satellite image. So we've been looking all over the place, right? So here's the fog. Here's Santa Cruz. We saw the fog there. Here's Pacifica. We saw the fog there. And we can see fog up in Point Reyes. So there's plenty of fog. What I noticed in this live camera shot, or this live visible satellite shot. I don't see a lot of smoke, there is some smoke, but it's pretty awesome not to have a bunch of smoke floating around right now. Here's the model. Let's see if I can get this to, can I move that a little bit? Let's do this. I'm going to square this up. This box doesn't say, but see where that box is? Just keep your eyes on that box. And then I'm going to roll this through, and the box goes away. But you see, you know where the box is. See that area come down? So that's cooling. That's tomorrow afternoon, the big cooling. And then you see the trough move on, but then another dip comes in as we go into Friday. And then this more significant, look at that. I mean, if that happens, that's rain, potentially. That would be early next week. It's a ways off, but these are just the long-range pattern. And then a little bit of ridging as we go into next Wednesday, not this Wednesday, but a whole week away. And this would worry me a little because I think that could be a fire wind because you get this big low that goes through, and then the ridge builds in quickly. This is why we get the fire Diablo winds or the offshore winds this time of year, which when the stronger the low, the more rapidly that high wants to build in. And then you see continued troughing, though, as we go into September 22nd, continued troughing, big drop there. That could be a wind event, but that's on the 25th. So what we're looking at now are the potentials for wind that could be fire concerning. So that's way down the road, though. So this week, cooler. 5-day forecast, the hot spots, I would just focus on the lower tier numbers here, down in here. So today 94, tomorrow the high 87. Those are the hot spots right there. And it kind of hovers. And it's going to continue to be on the mild side really into the weekend as well. So a nice looking weather pattern. I'll see you back here tomorrow.